Nobody goes into battle without a plan. Well, if they do, those aren't the heroes that we read about in the history books. No, they're the losers. So we're going to talk about a battle plan for developing manly skills. A battle plan for masculinity, how we can level up as men. We're going to get right into it after this on the Manlihood Mancast.
Warning, applying these principles may change your life. People will look at you differently. You'll walk straighter, live bolder, and find out who you are. This is the Manlihood Mancast. Here's your host, Josh Hatcher.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Manlihood Mancast. Listen, Season 6 has got some fire stuff for you this year. We are doing some amazing things that we've never done before, and I cannot wait to bring it all to you. The first one, and I'll talk about it real quickly, we have partnered with Hemp Mafia to create Manlihood Apothecary beard oil. This is good for your beard, I promise. If you're interested in it, you can go to manlihood.com/store to check it out. This is a limited run. If it does well, we'll make this a regular thing. But I want you to check it out and see if you like it. So if you got a beard, you want to keep it smelling nice, fresh and clean, and luxurious like mine, go to manlihood.com/store. The other thing, guys, is we've got a brotherhood that is forming. It is the Arrows and Iron Brotherhood. And this is a step above what we're doing in the Manlihood Man Cave, which is our free Facebook group. This is the next level up. What we're going to do is we're going to give you tools to help you set the goals that you need to set in your life. We're going to give you tools to break those goals down into daily actions and plans that you can take. And then we're going to have some coaching and some calls to help you stay connected to that goal and to make it happen with some accountability. And we're also going to have some amazing additional content. You'll get bonus content from our podcast episodes, and you will get some courses that we've created that are going to help you to be a better husband, a better father, a better leader. So I can't wait for you to be able to check that out. There are different levels depending on what you can afford to do, but I firmly believe that if you choose to invest in yourself, the returns are going to be more than you can even imagine. So stay tuned because that's coming soon. If you want to be the first to hear about it, go to manlihood.com/brotherhood, and we'll let you know as soon as it's ready to go.
How to develop manly skills. The battle plan for masculinity.
So let's make that battle plan. You know, I think a lot about the war room where they've got the maps out and the little plastic soldiers and tanks and planes that they're moving to try to plan out a battle strategy for taking out the enemy. I'm sure that a lot of that's probably done on computers now, but I love the picture of that general kind of pushing the soldiers so they can kind of converge and flank the enemy and take him out. That is what we're doing today, but the enemy that we're facing here is actually our own apathy. And what we're doing, the battle that we're fighting, is to develop manly skills. Skills are really interesting because if you've been born with a talent or a gift, you know, I like to think that we're gifted by God with certain things. Those talents are those things that you're naturally good at. You don't have to work at those. They are things that you might have to fine-tune them, but there's a certain amount of natural gifting, things that you're good at without trying really hard. Skills can be those, but it also includes the things that you need to do, that you need to learn to do. A skill is like a knife, and you can sharpen it, and you can make it even more effective through the diligence that you put into it. So that's what we're going to talk about, is how to make those skills in your life stronger. The first thing that we need to do, guys, is to identify some skills that you want or that you lack and that you want to learn. If there are things in your life that you need to know how to do, identify them. I highly encourage you to get your notebook. If you don't have a journal or a notebook, you need to, because this is a great place to make a list of the stuff you need to learn how to do. You know, I frequently find myself, I am not a mechanic. I am not. And I struggle with how to fix my car and how to keep my car maintained, and that's not something I'm really great with. So if I want to learn, I have to identify and know that this is something I need to learn more about. And over the years, I've learned quite a bit about it. Same with home repair, the same with being a better husband and communicating with my spouse, to talk to my spouse intimately about my emotional health and my emotional well-being. That's a skill that I had to learn, because what I had learned was you don't talk about that stuff. So now I'm learning to talk about that with her, and our relationship is growing. It's a skill that I had to learn, and I identified it. So the next thing that we have to do, part 2 here, not only do we identify those skills, but now we have to study the information. Now, where are you going to learn about it? There's books about this. There are podcasts that you can listen to, like this one, and YouTube videos that you can watch on just about anything. This morning, my daughter's car wouldn't start. It didn't start last week. She took it to the mechanic. They replaced the starter. She gets it home. It's not starting. So I Googled it, and I watched a YouTube video, and I realized, okay, it might be this relay. Let's try swapping out the relays. So we did that, still didn't start. So now I know that the problem is a wire coming from the relay to one of 4 locations. I don't have the tools or the know-how yet to be able to know how to fix that, so we're going to take it to the mechanic. But the point is, if I wanted to learn and I wanted to invest in the tools, that's all there. The information is there, and I can learn it. Same is true with just about any area of your life and just about any skill that you need to learn. The next step, guys, so you've identified it and you've started to study and learn. Now you want to practice it on your own, because skills are the result of informed discipline. Let me say that again. Skills are the result of informed discipline. This is where let's say you want to learn to be a better fighter. I've been training boxing with my son. Now, this is not me training my son to box. This is my son training me to box. I used to fight a lot as a kid. I'm a grown man now, and I haven't fought in a long time. My body works differently than it did. I don't have the same muscle memory. I really didn't have good muscle memory then. I just kind of flailed, and, my fights were mostly getting shoved or shoving somebody. It wasn't, a whole lot of throwing fists, but a little bit. I'd like to be more efficient and effective for that, right? So my son is training me. He's got a little bit of martial arts training, and I'm learning from him. So he's training me on my form. So I'm throwing a whole bunch of punches, and he's saying, okay, Dad, if you want that jab to be more effective, you want to twist your hand as you're putting it out, because you give that jab a little bit more power. And as you're throwing that hook, you want to push off of your back foot. And he shows me how to hold my feet so that my balance is better. And he demonstrates this by shoving me, and if my feet aren't right, I lose my balance. So I will then go in week after week, and I'll hit the heavy bag for a little bit, or I'll hit the mitts that he's holding, and we'll practice, and he'll kind of coach. But that practice gives me the muscle memory so that I can be consistent, and I can do the same punch over and over again. I build up my muscles, but I also train my brain, and I practice, and I get better. This is true of every skill. And this is something we all need to do. We need to practice those skills. So having the information and then applying that information to the discipline so that you do it over and over and you can get better at it. The next step is to apprentice from a master, which is what I'm doing with my son. Find somebody that knows the skills you need and shadow them. Now, it might be as simple as paying attention to or watching someone who is at an upper level who is doing these things. Maybe they have a master class that you can take. If you want to learn how to do comedy, you could get the Steve Martin How to Do Comedy master class, and you can learn from Steve Martin, one of the funniest people ever. You can also find someone in real life, flesh and blood, and you can talk to them and say, I really need to learn how to do this. Can I help you out while you're doing this so I can kind of get my hands dirty and learn from you and practice with you? And that master can then correct your technique so that you can get better and stronger and you can learn how they do what they do. You might have to pay for this. You might be able to do it for free. Depends on the situation and the skill, but there are all kinds of ways that you can shadow and learn from a master. And then here's where it gets awesome, because the next step is the apprentice becomes the master. We learn even more when we start to teach what we've learned, when we start to pass it on to others. So if you have manly skills that you've developed, teach them. Pass them on. Teach them to someone else. That's a lot of the reason I started this podcast, is I was at the place where there was a lot of things I had learned that I needed to apply, and I needed to learn them better, so I started doing this. And I'm teaching these things, and as I'm teaching them, a lot of times it's for me as much as it is for anybody else, because I'm learning it. I'm learning it even more. You don't have to be perfect at this to teach. You just have to know enough to teach. You have to know a little bit about it. You know a little bit about it, you can learn more. And as you are teaching, you learn even more. I will tell you that if you ask any teacher, that's what they'll tell you. Anybody who's taking the time to teach someone else and to be that master teaching the apprentice, they are learning even more and understanding it even deeper as they teach. Maybe you're teaching somebody and they ask, well, why is this? And you don't know the answer to that question. That's okay. Find out the answer with them. Journey that together. It's going to make both of you stronger. So let's talk about this a little bit more about those manly skills. That's kind of the battle plan. What are the manly skills that we need to acquire? Well, the first one is fatherhood. You know, you've heard the saying that any man can be a father, but it takes a special man to be a dad. So, yeah, any man can sire a child, or most men can anyway, if they've got the proper equipment and it's working properly and the opportunity arises. They can implant seed, and that seed can grow into another person. But to be a father is a skill. To be a good father is a skill that you can hone and you can sharpen and you can learn about. Because the chances are most of us will just repeat what our father did. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not. So take the time to learn the art, the skill of fatherhood. Read books. Get around other fathers. Ask questions. It's going to help you become a better father. And along a similar token, if we're talking about family, romance. If you really want to be good at wooing a spouse, you can learn from others about this. I'm not saying you need to, hire a Hitch from the movie Hitch. Will Smith's character there. No, but you do need to learn how to romance a lady. I think most people just think they can do it by default. Well, a lot of times you can catch a lady pretty easily, but keeping a lady and making a good family with that lady, being a good husband to that lady, if you doubt that this is a skill, all you got to do is look at the number of relationships that have failed all around you, maybe even in your own life. Look at all the strife that you see as a result of people who don't know how to do this. This is a skill that you need to learn, you need to study, you need to practice, and maybe you even need some mentorship on. Don't be afraid to do that. It's good stuff. The next thing, guys, this is an interesting one. Taking care of your stuff. So if we buy stuff and we treat it like it's disposable, or we don't take care of it and then it breaks down, we need to learn how to fix and repair the things that we own. We need to learn how to take care of them so they're properly maintained, so they don't break down as often. And this is a very valuable skill, and it's one that a lot of people ignore. But it really does matter. It does make it more challenging in the era that we live, in which many things are made very disposable. I bought a brand new dishwasher a few years ago, and I fixed it myself a couple times. Hired the mechanic, the dishwasher, or the dishwasher repair guy to fix it a couple times, and eventually he's like, this thing is unfixable because things aren't made like they used to be. And that does happen. But if we can take care of things and maintain them, they'll last longer. That's a very manly skill. Another manly skill is fitness. I talked a little bit about that when I'm talking about fighting. I'm learning to take care of my body and get myself back on track. I haven't done the best job. And so I know that this is a skill because when I don't do it and when I'm not applying informed discipline, my body suffers. My wife suffers if I'm not taking care of myself. Everything suffers if you are not fit and healthy. So make sure that you learn the skills that you need so that you can be fit and healthy. You can learn how to eat properly. You can learn how to exercise, how to build muscle, how to lose fat, whatever you need to learn. This is a skill that you can learn, that you can practice, and that you can get better at. Another skill, and this one's going to sound kind of random, wilderness and survival. Can you survive in the wild? A lot of people couldn't. And you don't have to like or enjoy the outdoors to learn these skills. I think we all should be able to learn how to acquire sustenance and get clean water, and how to build a shelter in case for some reason we're stuck in the wilderness, how to navigate back to safety, how to get help, all those things. Those are skills that you need to learn. It's worth getting a book or watching Bear Grylls and learning this skill. Another skill that we need is leadership and mentorship. We need to learn to lead, and not only because we want to be the boss, but because no matter who you are a leader and you are a mentor. No matter who you are. You could be the brand new guy at work who has the crappiest job, and you can lead and set the example for others. And so there are skills associated with that. So take the time to learn how to become a better leader, how to mentor other people. This is another kind of skill that's kind of random. We've talked about a little bit, combat and self-defense. I think we need to learn this skill and we need to work on it, become better at it. I don't think that, some people would say that they're a pacifist and that they have no desire to fight or kill anyone or any of that. I can understand that. I can respect that, even if I disagree. I do think that there's a time and place, but, pacifism won't get you very far when the armed rapist comes to the door and barges in and is looking for your wife and your daughter. Having this skill protects not only you, but it protects someone else. And there are all kinds of lethal forms of combat and non-lethal forms, rather, of combat and self-defense, where you don't have to kill somebody, but you can stop them. These are skills that you can learn, and you should learn, so that you know how to protect yourself and to protect others, because that's part of our job as men. Another thing that we need to learn is planning and time management. So many people don't know how to plan. They don't know how to take their goals and break them down into actionable steps. They don't know how to plan a schedule. They don't know how to take a project and break it down so that they can get an idea of when this project will be done. And honestly, I think everybody struggles with this to some degree. Some people are naturally gifted. Some people have taken the time to really learn the skill. And it's a skill we need. Another one is financial skills. We need to learn how to budget, how to invest, how to not only make enough money to meet ends, but also to become wealthy. I'm not saying we all need to be Bill Gates and then use our money for evil, but we do need to start working on acquiring wealth so that we can make a difference in the lives of our family and those around us. I mean, that's a noble purpose of acquiring wealth. And to do that, you really need to be able to learn financial skills. Another skill, and it's kind of related because this is how we make money, is employment skills. Do you know how to get a good job? Do you know how to put a good resume together? How to do great in an interview? And then once you get a job, how to keep the job? These are skills that we need to learn. Communication skills, and we've talked about this as well. Learning how to communicate. Can you write an effective letter to get done what you need to get done? Can you talk to your family so that they can understand you? Are you finding yourself texting people and them getting frustrated and starting fights because your communication skills are just in the garbage can? We can all work on this. We can all become better communicators so that we can accurately, efficiently, effectively, carefully, thoughtfully communicate with others. This is a skill we all need. I tell you what, we could probably go on forever with skills that all men need, but I think this is a good starting place for us. If you need help with any of these, or you want to talk about it, please go to our private Facebook group, the Manlihood Man Cave. You can join the group there, talk to the guys. We'd love to have you there. It's free. If you want to go deeper, we are working on the Arrows and Iron Brotherhood. So depending on when you're listening to this episode, if it hasn't launched yet, it'll be launching soon. And this is so that you can go even deeper in acquiring your skills. And that is going to be found at manlihood.com/brotherhood. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys. I care about you. I love you. And I'll see you next time.
If you want to be a better man, check out our website, manlihood.com, for blogs, videos, and more from our Manlihood team. Men, you can also join our private Facebook group, Manlihood Man Cave, where you can meet up with a band of brothers who will challenge you and help you on your journey of manhood. This episode is produced by Hatcher Media for manlihood.com. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to the show. Tune in again for more of the Manlihood Mancast.